Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing very, very well. Club football is back, and to my left, Blackpool lads.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm very well. You?
Yeah, good. Just as we were just saying, it's good to have club football back, isn't it? So excited about
Yeah. Really, really glad. In club football is back, and that's the last international break done with.
that. Yeah. It's always sometimes you could say it disrupts momentum, but don't really think it's affected us this season. So hopefully, well, regardless of what happens this season, I'm happy with how things have gone. To be honest, it's been amazing. So obviously, we want it to end with promotion or at least a playoff run. But it's if we don't make the playoffs, which I don't think will be the case, I think we will get them. It's still been an amazing year for Forest.
Yeah, it has been a pretty awesome season, and obviously we have got like a mini 10 game season now to try and get in, even try and go for top two. Starting with Blackpool, how do you feel?
Honestly, it's quite weird, really, being a Forest fan now because we're in like an unknown territory because like we're not used to it being so positive and being so optimistic, but we're not thinking, nah, I'm just being stupid here. We're not going to get the playoffs. We actually think, yeah, why the hell can't we? Because I know I've said so many times on my channel and just to other people, if we can do what we've done in the Cooper in the league, only lose like 4 matches, and only one of them I think has actually been a genuinely poor performance, which was Cardiff away from home. Even I suppose Borough was as well. But the cup run, I think that's what gives me the most confidence more than anything. The fact that we didn't just get lucky and play two League One sides and then a Championship side. We played some of the best teams around, particularly Liverpool. And we didn't just beat Arsenal and Leicester, particularly Leicester. We thoroughly deserved to beat them, which is I think the thing we have to really be proud about. We didn't just get lucky with a scrappy penalty at the end. We beat them deservedly on and off the ball. And then Liverpool, the fact we've come away from a game against Liverpool feeling a bit hard done by is huge testament to what we've done this season. And again, a bit like international breaks, to say it can distract you. I don't think the cup run did at all. I think it really helped us. I think it gave us a huge amount of confidence, and yeah, it can distract teams sometimes. Being in, say, teams that aren't normally in Europe, sometimes that might distract them. Sometimes it won't. It might give them more confidence, and it's the same with the cup. But it definitely hasn't with Forest. I think we've seen that the performances in the cup have just made us even better than we already were. So, and it's just sad to think what if Cooper was with us at the start of the season. We would probably be like top four, at least I'd say. Pretty much the whole time that Cooper's been in charge, we've been in the form table like top three, top four. So would be there in the actual league, to be honest. So it's a shame we've been playing catch up all season, but yeah, a lot to be excited about.
Definitely. That cup one just seemed to like help us with that momentum this season. Like it just carried it on. Fair enough that it made some disruption with now we're playing like Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. But it has given us that momentum that obviously seen us be top three form.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain at all about playing more games because it's what you want to see your team play as much as you can. And if we were in the Premier League or we were like a top half Premier League side, you get that all the time. And you're constantly playing games in Europe and going far in the cups and that. And this is why the cup run was so special because it's something that apart from England at the last two tournaments, I've never really known a side that I support actually do well in knockout football. And then for Forest do something similar was arguably even more impressive, to be honest, because it wasn't expected. But yeah, they are like 10 cup finals now, aren't they, to end the season if we want to get the playoffs. And I think we haven't got the easiest win in, but we shouldn't really be too scared of anyone. The only game that I look at and I think that would be very difficult to win is probably Fulham. away from home. I mean, if we were to lose that, it wouldn't be ideal, but it wouldn't be a surprise because Fulham beat everyone pretty much. However, even those guys, to be honest, I don't look at and think we've got no chance here. I think even Bournemouth, we have to look at them and think they're beatable because, they've drawn with teams like Peterborough and Reading at home this season, recently anyway. There's straight past sides that they probably should have beaten more comfortably. So Bournemouth are beatable. So, yeah, I really don't feel we should be fearing too many teams at all this season now.
We shouldn't be fearing anyone nowadays, especially with Cooper. I mean, even Liverpool, it was nice just for us to feel like we've been done by. I mean, they had to bring 4 players on worth up to 90 million or some stat about it, and it was it must be fearing us.
Yeah, we got Liverpool worried. I mean, I don't think Liverpool would have expected such a tough game. I think a lot of those players, they would have been aware of us, but they wouldn't have known what we were doing at all. They wouldn't have expected a game like that. And Klopp said in his interview, that's as tough as a game can get, really. And he's playing a championship side, and that is calling our atmosphere a European night. It's a huge compliment from someone so high in football. And I was honestly we had that miss from Zinkernagel and a few other chances, and the goal was questionable, whether it was onside or offside. There's multiple angles where you could say either or, to be honest. So yeah, it's the fact that I think Joe Lolly said, actually, I didn't see an official interview, but he said, what Cooper's made us do is we used to go into games fearing oppositions. Now we don't. We just do what we can do and focus on what we're good at. And we definitely didn't do that before. Look at Houghton all the time. He used to constantly say, yeah, they're a good side. Going to be a very tough game. He never used to say, well, I know we can do this, though. Every time Cooper says the direct opposite, and he just wants more and more, no matter how good it gets, which is a great mentality to have. And it's clearly in the entire team now. And even substitutes, you feel like they are fully invested in what the club's doing, which is quite rare, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And it is really, really nice for it to have that mentality throughout the club. So,
yeah.
Obviously, we start with Blackpool now, and I mean, they've picked up some really good results, especially at home this season. So, they're that sort of team that they can pick up a result, but we're going to it like we have been doing. I mean, should be a 3-pointer.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really impressed with Blackpool because I had a feeling about them at the start of the season that they would do okay, but I didn't think they'd do quite as well as they have done. And I know they're not pushing for playoffs or anything, but they've had a few moments where they've been near it, and they've been they haven't really gone lower than where they are now. So, for a team that was in League One last season, and it was their first year in the Championship for a number of seasons. I mean, it's quite a while since we last played Blackpool away from home. So, it's been a long time since we've played them in the league away. For them to do as well as they're doing is very good, and they've got some great players as well. Obviously Josh Boda was linked with us quite heavily in January. Seen quite a bit of him this season and just how good he is. He's a bit like, Josh Boda and Jeb Wallace obviously were linked with us, and I think they're similar kind of players to like a prime Joe Lolly. They're very quick and a nuisance for defenders. So ought to be aware of him, but I'm not going to be a Chris Hughton and say we're going to lose. I think we can quite easily deal with Blackpool if we put them onto it. And it should. You think we should be winning against them, and I don't think a draw would be disastrous. But I'd rather us not, obviously. So really, it should be a game we need to be going to win because ultimately Blackpool aren't going to get the playoffs, whereas we very much can.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Josh Bowden probably is the main man, to be fair. He attracted quite a lot of interest, especially from us. So he's probably the main man.
Yeah, he's a good player. because, obviously they've got Jordan Gabriel as well. Players like Jerry Yates, who scored against us in the first game. And actually, the Blackpool game at home, there's been so many matches this season, which I look back on and think that was a really good game. But Blackpool game at home, I thought was a really good match. It was very evenly matched. And it was like, it was one of Cooper's first games at home. Mill was the first one, but I think it was his second game. And, we just, it was the first win at home this season. And the first time he's won at home since like March, which was just ridiculous that they'd gone on that long. And it was a really good performance. And I remember Blackpool played very well in the second half in particular. So yeah, that was a good game. So if we can get something similar, then I think it'll be a good match.
Definitely. I mean, what sort of team would you expect us to put out tomorrow?
Yeah, I've seen a bit of talk about Samba potentially getting a go again because of Horvath playing with America. And I think regardless of whether Horvath was with the US or not, I think Samba would have come back eventually. I think it was inevitable, and it's very harsh on Horvath because, he's not really put a foot wrong, proven that he's a really good goalkeeper. And we have 2 starting level goalkeepers in our squad now. And, this is one of the things about this season that's so special. Is like for so many years, we've had a decent goalie, but behind him was quite weak. Striker is a classic example. The last few seasons we've had Graben and not really anyone else. Like, remember under Sabri, we brought back Tyler Walker, we signed Nuno da Costa, and that was an absolute disaster. Last season we had like Taylor and Guerrero and Murray, Will Swan even. Now we've got 2 strikers that are equally as good as Graben, to be honest. But yeah, talking about the goalkeepers, I do think Salmon might get his go again, and I think ultimately, I don't mind who plays, and it would be harsh on Horvath, but ultimately, I think Brees is the better goalie. Obviously, it's not ideal to have Lowe, McKenna, and Cookie out because they've been fantastic. I heard Graben might actually be coming back quite soon, which is good. I have a feeling that one of the defenders will come back earlier than we expect because, Wall, start of the year, we thought he was going to be out for like 6 weeks and he came back after like a week. So, hopefully we get one of those in at some point soon. They should have been back before the end of the season, I think. But I think it's a golden opportunity to see someone like Richie Larea get a go because, the lad's qualified for the World Cup. I think he can't be that bad. I just think he needs to get a few minutes, Richie Larea. I don't think he will play, to be honest. I think we'll play Colback there. But I think ultimately Colback is better when he plays in the midfield. That's his actual position, isn't it? So, I think it will be more of the same, to be honest. And potentially we might see Bruce Samba come back in there. And I personally like to see Joe Lolly start ahead of Zinkernagel because I think Lolly is looking like his old self again. And, I've said it a few times. I think with all what we've got already, if we can add a Joe Lolly from a few years ago into that, I think that's like our secret weapon for to actually just go that one step further and get promoted. And I don't hate on Zink or anything, but I just think Lolly deserves a chance, to be honest.
He was lifeline against Liverpool and QPR. It was that Joe Lolly that we knew from that prime Joe Lolly.
Yeah, I know he's older now, but you can still see he's got that same old character about him. And you just the way he, you recognise Joe Lolly instantaneously when he's on the ball. The little run he does and the way he just goes in around defenders, and we were seeing that movement from him in the last few games, whereas before he just didn't look quite on it. He hasn't played for a long time. Before the last 2 games, he came on against Sheffield as well towards the end. So it's good to see Lolly hopefully finding his old self again, and he can finally help us push for promotion again. But if we can get someone like him back, I think it would do us the world of good, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. What's your score prediction for tomorrow?
Well, I probably have said it more than anything else this season, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 2-1, to be honest. I know Blackpool have got a good home record. They do tend to score a couple of goals, Blackpool. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they did score. And yeah, I can see us keeping a clean sheet as well. It's going to be, I don't think it would be like a walkover, to be honest. I think it will be a tough match. But I will go 2-1, my traditional 2-1 for Nottingham Forest.
The traditional 2-1 score on the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to say thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to Wads' channel. He does a lot of false content as well and football content. So I'd like to say thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.